What's up guys, it's Wolfindex here, and I'm coming to you guys today with a video about some tips I'd like to share about Apex's new game mode, Arenas. So far, and I'm only counting the games that I've had with randoms, I've won 66% of my games. So every 3 matches that I have, I've won 2 of them. 1/3 of those matches is 33%, so if you add another, it's 66. Quick maths. But some of these tips are going to seem like very common, but I just need you to understand that the reason why I'm talking about these is because Arenas plays out very differently from the regular game. So just bear with me and understand that there is a method to my madness. So first and foremost, positioning is key. I know in every game that's survival, like PUBG, Fortnite, and especially Apex, you have to get the right positioning in fights, otherwise you're screwed. Here, when I'm talking about positioning, you're going to have to rotate with the circle at all times. The reason being is because in certain circumstances, you will end up being away from the ring, and if you try and have a long range fight, especially if you're sniping in the beginning of the game, understand that unless you're in the middle or you're somewhere predominantly in the circle where you can do that the whole time, you're going to lose a fight or two. So make sure you're rotating with the circle. The next topic involves 3 things. One being the crafting canisters. Those are essential to long game. Each canister is going to be worth 200 and there's 2 of them. So best case scenario, if you guys end up going for both of them, you're getting 400 additional points for the next round. That'll definitely help you, especially when you're trying to go ahead and customize weapons. Next thing, there's going to be a supply bin located on the map. What you're going to get from that supply bin is a Phoenix Kit med kit and some shields. I do believe there's shield batteries, 2 of them. I can be wrong though. Make sure that you're sharing that with your team. There's no point in using them, like, yeah, you can be really good at the game, but in a situation where, especially if you're in the first round, you know most people aren't focused on shields. So just share 1 or 2. It's not going to hurt you unless you really need them. Like, don't be a loot goblin. Not here. And lastly, the care package weapon. The care package weapon is going to benefit you. The way how it works is it's going to start off, I do believe, as a blue weapon. What that means is at the later rounds, you're going to go ahead and have a purple weapon, and then there are going to be red weapons at the last round, I do believe. But even though those weapons are good, you should be focusing on your own kit. Like, yeah, if you can get to those weapons in time, cool. But if you don't, make sure that you have a kit that you can rely and trust on. Even though your shields are going to increase as the game progresses, you still have to have your own kit. Now, speaking of which, I have a method for that in which I use a free weapon and a go-to weapon. Now, what does that mean? It means that essentially I'm going to be using either a Mozambique or a P2020. Now, some people don't feel comfortable with that, and that's fine. You could always just go ahead and use your grab points for that. A pistol of some kind or a submachine gun. My go-to weapon, of course, which hasn't really done me wrong, is a G7 Scout. Why? Because I've used that gun since the beginning of Apex when it was deemed a sniper rifle. Fun fact for those people that haven't been playing since season 1. Yeah, but I use that because in all reality, as I said, people will be attempting to snipe or use like medium to long range weapons, and G7 Scout, being a marksman, is one of those perfect weapons. I will try to go ahead and at least upgrade it to the point where it has a sight. If I'm not feeling too comfortable, I'll make sure that it's fully stocked with at least level 1 attachments. Now, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because if I focus on having one fully kitted weapon, I can focus on downs and stuff like that. And then the P2020, if you're feeling comfortable, once again, can go ahead and help with some close range fights. Now, you can always go ahead and use something else, like maybe you prefer the flatline, hemlock, 30-30 repeater, or a sniper, triple take or whatever. That's fine, but that's just my go-to. So sure, you have that in the first round. What are you doing second, third, and you know, maybe you have to go to a fourth and fifth round. Maybe there's a tiebreaker. By the third round, if you're positioning correctly, if you're getting the canisters and the supply bins, you should have enough by the third round to craft yourself an actual second weapon. So for me, as you saw in the beginning of the video, I'm using a flatline and a G7 Scout. That is my go-to when it comes to fights, because I've used an assault rifle and a marksman rifle so many times in regular games that that's just my kit. Make sure you're comfortable with your kit. You can go ahead and try new weapons, especially the bow, but remember, it's a new weapon. You're going to have an adjust period, so it might not work for you. And the bow currently hasn't been successful for any of like the randoms that I've gone against or had on my team. Like, they go down or they need some type of help. Next up, your legend. Now, your legend's abilities will vary in the game. There are going to be cooldowns for those abilities even if you upgrade them. But you should focus on two things, same as in trios and in duos. Are you focused on trying to help the team, or are you focused on trying to help yourself? You should be doing a mixture of both. So for me, I used characters like Lifeline or Bloodhound. Bloodhound preferably because of his recon ability. So by the time you're at, the end game, you should already know, all right, how much do I want to put in my abilities, how much do I want to put in my weapons and stuff. And for me, what I'll do is I'll make sure that Bloodhound has at least 2 or 3 pings, because that helps everybody on my team know where the enemy is going to be, and we can push aggressively, especially if there's a down. Side note, some of the characters that I've seen do well in arenas has been Bloodhound, Lifeline, definitely Gibby, and that's because of 2 things: his gun shield and his dome. There's been some other people like Bangalore, but I do believe people have been playing her because of the weekly challenge for the first week, saying to play 12 games with her or Loba. But with that being said, you can definitely go ahead and switch this around. It just depends on your player dynamic and as well as the legend and how much you want to put into the legend's abilities. But that being said, that's that for the tips. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, you appreciated my tips. If you didn't, feel free to go ahead and leave something in the comments down below saying whatever you want, and I'll make sure to respond to it as long as it's respectful. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Wolfiend out.